Mrs. Ross here again. We're working on our drawing of the house. This is our third video today. This video should be a little bit shorter like the very first video was. So we have our drawing here, pencil eraser, and I have both of my angles. I don't know if I'll need them all. Yes, I'll probably need the ruler. We'll see. Okay, we put the details on the roof. We're done with this. If you ever needed to find it again, you could just reattach another piece of paper to the paper, take it up there and find it. So we actually don't need this anymore unless we wanted to add more details to the roof. If you are deciding later on, maybe you want to add a garage, the garage would actually need its own third vanishing point. So, you know, maybe save this piece of paper in case you want to opt to use it again, but I don't think you're necessarily going to use it. So I'll just put this piece of paper to the side. So what we're going to do now is do a couple things so that when we do our next video, we'll have started with it. We're going to put in a very specific front door, and then we're going to put some windows on the front of the house. So what we're going to do with our front door, I want to show you a little trick with it, which has its applications. So there's a reason why we're putting in the front door the way we're putting it in. Mrs. Ross, don't make us do it. Yes, you have to. Okay, first of all, this is a two-story house. So the end of the first story is right here on the horizon line, and we start the second story. So when we start putting in the door and windows, we have to use some logic. First of all, if you look at the door in your room you're in, it's about 6.5 feet, maybe a little more. Maybe it's like 6 foot 9 inches. Maybe it's somewhere around there, 8 inches. So a door, the top of the door is not quite 7 feet. So if my doorway, the ceiling of my house was, say, a 10-foot ceiling, which is a little bit of a lower ceiling, then a 7-foot door is way up here. If I want my house to look grander, though, like a 14-foot ceiling, then my 7-foot door is way down here, halfway up. So you decide how grand you want your house to look, and the grander your house looks, the smaller the door gets. Okay, we're putting in a double front door. Yes, everyone has to do this. We're going to start this by putting in the line between the two doors. So I'm going to take my midpoint here. The double front door is going to be centered. So I'm going to take a line below. Okay, so I have, you know, a good amount of space here, but not too much. So maybe I don't have a 14-foot ceiling, but maybe this is like a 12-foot ceiling. So this is the scale of my house. If I want a 14-foot ceiling, then only halfway up, right? So this is the kind of like the space between the two front doors. Then the top of the doors, we know, will go towards the vanishing point. So let's put in the top of the two doors. This is a really fun little thing I'm about to teach you. Okay, here we have the top of the two doors. Then let's look at the proportions of a door. If you look around the room next to you, the proportions of a door is a square on a square, and then maybe half a square. So square, maybe here-ish is about the size of the door. Now a little bit wider if you want a super fancy front door. You don't want it too wide, it's going to look like a barn door. So let's say right about here. It looks like to me like a good proportion for a door. So I put in my door on the right side. Now I need my door on the left. Let me make this a little bigger. So I put in a line right below the midpoint, a vertical line, and I crossed over that to the left vanishing point. Then I put in another vertical line, about the proportion I want my door to be. Now, what I'm going to show you is kind of a neat system that shows you how to find things. You know, what's the application for this? Well, the application is you can go on and on and on with this and find more things. So the way this works is, let's say I'm drawing something and it's not perspective. Let's say I have, this is my thing. This is kind of what I have right now. And here's my first door. Right, it's not in perspective. Let's say that my second door is the same. Now, if it was not in perspective, I could measure it, but I can't. But see, I know it's over here. I know it's the same width. One thing I also know, I know that if I had that line there, I could cross it and find the diagonals, right? That's something we've been doing all the time. Cross it, find the diagonals. So the diagonal will end up where the next door is. Okay, so we're thinking outside the box here. What if I found that diagonal to tell me where the next door is? Ooh, this is getting fun. So what we're going to do, actually, this is really fun, is we're going to get our ruler. We're going to find the middle here of these two doors. We could do it two ways. I can just cross my diagonals here and go across horizontally. That'll find the point. Or I can actually measure, it's a vertical line, I can measure it. But let's do it the fun way without measuring. So here we go again. We know that along these lines somewhere is a second door. And we know if we use a diagonal, we can find it. So, and we know the diagonal goes through the middle, right? We're looking for this. If I can find this, I can use a diagonal to find that. So to find the middle, all I have to do is cross my diagonals here. Here's the middle. Shoot that off. It's horizontally here. Up on the drawing will be to the vanishing point. Middle. Found my midpoint, and then I draw my diagonal, and here's my other door. It looks like a lot of trouble, but the thing is you can repeat this over and over. This is how you make sidewalks and find the equal squares. This is how you make a row of things. This is how you put a row of things up on a skyrise. This is how you build it correctly, a picket fence. This is how you put high power line, power poles in. So this is how you repeat things at certain increments. This is it. It's not that hard to do. We're just going to do one. So first thing I had to do was, this is light. This is a reference part of your drawing. I might even get it larger one more time. So first, I'm going to cross my two diagonals. This is so much fun. Okay, I crossed my two diagonals and I found the middle of this point. Then I take this point out towards the vanishing point. And here, out towards the vanishing point. Okay, so here's the middle. So if the front door and the second door made a rectangle, I could cross a diagonal right through the middle. So to find my middle, I go from my front door through that midpoint. Here's my second door, right here. Then, like I said, what's very cool about this, once you've set this up, is I can repeat it. Let's say I wanted a third door all lined up, but I'm probably not going to, right? You don't do this on your drawing. But maybe I was building a fence or something, go like this. Here's the next one. And so on. So I repeat, 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 repeat. So I found the middle, crossed the diagonal through the middle to find the next door. So here's my two doors right here. I'm going to move on, so if you need to freeze the video for a second, go ahead and stop the video at this point. And then I want to clean this up and do some windows. And this is the main thing I'm teaching. How do we repeat things? How do I make this? And it's really fun to do that. You can do a lot of details knowing how to put things sequentially in perspective. So let me clean this up a bit. I just wanted to have you place some windows as well. Next time we're going to put some stairs and so on, but that's going to take a whole other video. So right now we're just going to do, after we did our tricky little door right here. Also another thing, typically handles are below, halfway down, and the two handles will go to the vanishing point. So I go below, halfway, handle, handle. So now I put my two handles in perspective on my drawing. A lot of people add a garage on this drawing, and I'm going to show you later. Usually they put it here, sometimes it's over here, something. So just because we might put a garage here, let's wait on windows at this particular location. But we can put some here in the house. Typically in your living room, You might have some pretty big windows. People don't typically run around in their like underwear in their living room. I'm just going to show you how to build a couple nice windows that are in proportion. So let's say this is pretty big windows here. I'm going to let my crossing my diagonals help me draw these windows. So I'm going to put 2 windows on either side of this door, and they're going to be centered on the house. So to do that, I'm letting my just like the opening to the doghouse, I'm letting my diagonals help me draw these windows. The one towards us is going to be a lot bigger than the other one. And then the top of the windows, I mean, is your window that much bigger than your door? Not a whole lot bigger than your door. So let's say these are huge windows. Actually, I'm going to take it right back to the diagonal. You don't have to build your windows over the diagonals, but it's a nice way of centering windows, and you could always adjust them. So here on the ground floor, I could have windows that are this large and it would not be unusual, and I could even draw curtains and stuff. I'm going to have you hang in there on details here until we're done. We can draw that later, until we're done drawing here. So let's leave out crazy details for a second. I just want to show you, let's say to put more windows up here on top, maybe I want one, and I'm just playing right now, maybe I want one right in the middle. So here's a middle one. Maybe I want a row of windows. I could do something like this. I think upstairs you have a modesty issue, so you don't want them quite as big as a downstairs window. So let's go here using my diagonals again. I'm making my windows a little smaller so they're coming out in a different place on my diagonals. I'm going to try and see if I can figure out how to make a third window. Here's the bottom, so it's more modest on the next floor. So a couple of small ones, and then here, so I'll just estimate and put another one right in the middle. So I put in, I kind of estimated I could probably spend more time finding that one in the middle, but let's say here's 3 nicely spaced windows up here on the second floor. They're going to be smaller than downstairs windows. If you wanted things like shutters or something like that, pretty easy to draw. You just set your mind to draw them, the tops and the bottoms. Let's say just the one in the middle had shutters on it. No, I don't know what kind of details you're going to want in your house. But see how easy it is to put shutters on a window. So let's add some windows, at least to this side of this house while we're at it. These lines I'm drawing in right now are going to my left vanishing point. But watch out for the area around the door. We're going to build a porch there in a second. So I would say work up here on the second floor if you want to. See, I put some shutters on that window. We're going to do something here. Don't do anything here. And you could put a window here, but down here we might be building a garage. You might want to wait. So just want to show you a window on this side of the house is going to have a completely different look to it. Let's say it's on the same level as these windows. So I'm going to transfer this information here, take it over here, but maybe it's just like one big window. This is at the same level of those because I transfer the information across. One huge window, just because it's like a workout room, let's say. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't live there. And vertical line here. So you can put a window up here, but leave this alone for now. Leave this alone for now, and then we'll do some more details in the next video. Oh, you missed the whole thing. This is Rouse. Oh dear. You missed kind of how you saw this part, but I'm not sure you saw this. So I built these 2 around that again. I just found the middle and kind of estimated about where that was. I think you could see me doing part of the drawing. Then I just drew 2 shutters that referred to the left vanishing point here and here. And then I transferred the top of these windows to this point, took this point over here. So the windows are at the same level on this side of the house as they are on that side of the house. But I would stop here. On the next drawing, we're going to work here on our house. Then the one after that, we're going to work here. And then we're about to let you have some creative details, have some fun. Okay, let me get it slightly larger in case you want to see it. But don't go past this point right here. Okay, I'm ending the movie.